Welcome back. All right, we got 10 games to review tonight from around the National Hockey League. Five of them that started early, and then five on the later-ish kind of side. But there was only two that were actually late starts. So, yeah, I was able to keep up relatively well tonight. Let's go ahead and jump in with the Carolina Hurricanes and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Kochetkov versus Vasilevsky. In this one, the Canes press at 2.5 minutes. Tampa Bay presses at 4 minutes. Eyssimont has a rush chance that's held. Shots are 3-2 Carolina, 4.5 minutes in. Point has a net drive that's blocked. Good flow, not a lot of shots though. There's a near miss for Natchez as the Canes press. Robinson has a turnover chance, that's held. Tampa Bay presses with 9 minutes left. We get a power play for the Bolts. Post for Kucherov during that is killed off. Shots are 6-4 Carolina with 5 minutes left, and at 16:38, Hagel buries one in close to open the scoring for Tampa. Radish with the helper. Bolts look for another. Kucherov's denied. Kochetkov holds there. And it was really all Tampa after that goal. So they come out of the first period up 1-0. Probably feeling pretty good about their chances. Second period. Natchez fires one wide on a rush. The next chance Natchez has is held. Canes presses at 2.5 minutes. We get a power play for Tampa. That's killed off. Shots are 4-3 Carolina at 6 minutes. The Canes press at 6.5 minutes. And at 6:31, so as I'm writing this, they score. Svechnikov has one that goes through Vasilevsky. Stahl with the assist. That's the first goal Svechnikov's had in his last 10 games. Tampa draws a power play, and Nick Paul buries it from the side of the net. Radish and Geeky with the assists at 9:17. Tampa Bay gets the lead back there. Canes press at the half. The shots are 10-8 Carolina with 7.5 minutes left. The Canes press with 5.5 minutes left. Eysimont's robbed. Kochetkov holds with 1:32 left. The Canes get a power play. So after the second period, the score is 2-1 for Tampa. Canes power play rolls over into the third. Tampa Bay finishes the kill. Shots are 3-1 Tampa at 3 minutes. Things get pushed on a hole by Kochetkov. The Canes press at 6.5 minutes. They get more pressure at 9 minutes, and at 9:56 they tie the game. It's Stahl tipping one in close. Brent Burns with the assist. Tampa Bay presses with 8.5 minutes left. Point has a slot shot that's blocked. The Canes press with 4 minutes left, and then at 19:08, so in the final minute of the period, Point scores from Kucherov and Gensel. He buries this one in close, makes it 3-2. Carolina would pull the goalie to no avail. 3-2 is your final for Tampa. We get some pushing and punching at the horn. Tampa Bay goes to 21-15-2 with a needed victory. Carolina 24-15-2, and their on and off struggles are on again. Shots on net, 11-10 Tampa in the first, 15-14 Carolina in the second, 9-7 Tampa in the third. Final shots 34-32 for the Bolts. Power plays, Carolina 0 for 3, Tampa Bay, or 0 for 1, I should say. Tampa Bay 1 for 3. The hits 24-19 Carolina. Kochetkov saves 31 out of 34. Vasilevsky saves 30 out of 32. So, entertaining game for Tampa. They get the win, and now we move along. The Edmonton Oilers and the Boston Bruins next on the list. Skinner versus Swayman in this one. Nurse fires one wide on a rush. The only shot on net was Boston's 3 minutes in. Hyman has a net drive that's blocked, and then at 6:33, on his fourth of the season, Henrique scores on a great pass. Perry and Kulak with the assists there. It's 1-0 for the Oilers. Bruins look to respond. We get a press by Boston at 8.5 minutes. They get more pressure with 6.5 minutes left. Skinner gets rattled by Zadorov just crashing into him. I didn't like that play by Zadorov, so he goes to the box. Pickard goes in while Skinner gets checked out. Skinner would come back in. So the power play's killed off. The Bruins press with 2 minutes left. Bouchard has a rush chance. That saved. It's 1-0 for Edmonton after one. Second period, teams trade rushes. Nugent Hopkins robbed in close. The shots are 4-1 for the Oilers at 4 minutes. The fans call one. The referee does not. We get a power play for Boston not long after that. That's killed off. Then we get a power play for the Oilers, and they score on it at 11-11. McDavid on a breakaway, and good luck for Swayman on that one. Nugent Hopkins with the assist on that one. It's 2-0 Oilers. The Bruins press to respond. Shots are 10-8 for the Oilers with 5.5 minutes left. And then at 16:35, Henrique scores from Skinner and Hyman. So it's 3-0 Oilers. After that, still some good forechecking by the Oilers. They don't let up. The Oilers press in the final minute. The Bluebirds are out at the horn, and they were just getting warmed up. So we go to the third period with the score 3-0 Edmonton. Things are pushed in a hole by Skinner. The Oilers press at 3.5 minutes. The shots are actually 5 before Boston at 5 minutes. We get a power play for the Bruins. There's a shorthanded rush by Nurse. The fans booed during parts of this. It ends up being killed off. We get a power play for the Oilers not long after. That's killed off as well. The fans call one, the referee does not, so that's the second time that I saw. And again, remember, I'm scrolling through a bunch of games at this point. Second time I saw where the fans wanted a call they didn't get. Goalie pull happens with more than 4 minutes left because they're down by 3. And at 16:25, Arvidsson hits the empty net from Kulak. The Bruins would press with 2 minutes left, trying to break the goose egg. But at the horn, the Boo Birds close out the game. Your final score is 4-0 for the Oilers. They go to 25-12-3 with the win. Boston 20-18-5 with the shutout loss at home. Shots on net, 14-4 Edmonton in the first, 15-8 Edmonton in the second, 14-10 Boston in the third. Final shots 39-26 for the Oilers. Power plays, the Oilers 1 for 3, Boston 0 for 2. The hits 45-18 for Boston because they didn't have the puck. Skinner saves all 26 shots. Now since Pickard had to go in while he got checked out, I don't think that counts as a shutout. That's a shared shutout, and so it doesn't officially go on anybody's record. Swayman 35 saves on 38 shots, but the Tony the Tiger Magnet goes up for shared shutouts as well. So Skinner saved all the shots. But yeah, I'm pretty sure since Pickard was in the net for a brief period there, that's how that works. All right, next up. Ottawa and Detroit. So Forsberg versus Lyon. Things are pushing a hole by Lyon as the Sens are leading in shots 3-0, 3 minutes in. Senators press at 4.5 minutes. Kane has a sharp angle shot that saves. Things get punchy on a hole by Lyon. The Wings come out of that with a power play, and they score on it. It's Larkin on a tic-tac-toe play from in close. DeBrincat and Raymond with the assists at 8.5 minutes. Sens look to respond. The Wings press at the half. We get a power play for Detroit. That's killed off. The Sens press with 4.5 minutes left. They get more pressure with 2 minutes left, and then Detroit has some pressure of their own in the final minute, but it's 1-0 Detroit after 1. Second period, the Wings press at 3 minutes. The shots are 4-1 Ottawa, 5.5 minutes in. Sens press again at 9 minutes. Shabbat has a wrister that's held. We get a power play for Ottawa. That's killed off. The Sens press after it's done, and they score. Shabbat goes bar down past a screen. Jensen and Cousins with the assists at 12:25. It's a 1-1 tie. Wings look to respond, but Ottawa with some pressure with 5 minutes left. Detroit gets pressure with 3 minutes left. With 1:48 left, the Sens get a power play, and they score on it. Kachuk with a wrister past a screen. Sanderson and Stutzla with the assists at 19:05. Ottawa up 2-1 after 2 periods of play. Third period, the Wings press at 2.5 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Forsberg. Shots are 3-2 Detroit at 4 minutes. And at 5 minutes exactly, Veleno scores to tie the game from Edvinsson and Mott. So that leads to the Senators looking to respond. Kasper's then robbed on a 2-on-1 rush. Teams trade rush chances after that. The Wings press with 8 minutes left. Sens press with 3 minutes left. The referee's told that he sucks while Ottawa's pressuring. They wanted a penalty called there. The Wings get some pressure with 1.5 minutes left, but we're going to overtime, which was popular tonight. Lots of overtime tonight. There's a near miss for Pinto on a net drive. We get a power play for Detroit, and they score on it. At 2:21, it's Kane from Larkin. Detroit with the 3-2 overtime win tonight. They go to 18-18-4. Ottawa does themselves no favors. The losing streak's up to 3. They're at 19-17-3 on the season. Shots on net, 14-10 Detroit in the first, 13-8 Ottawa in the second, 10-8 Ottawa in the third. In the overtime, Detroit had all 3 shots, including the shot that matters. Final shots, 33 apiece. So both teams with 33 shots. The power plays, 1 for 2 for Ottawa, 2 for 3 for Detroit. The hits, 28-18 Ottawa. Forsberg saves 30 out of 33. Lyon saved all 10 shots. He did not come out in the second period. Talbot goes the rest of the way and saves 21 out of 23 in relief. So we'll see what kind of updates we get online in the coming days, but he did not come out for the second period there. All right, next up, Dallas and the Rangers. So Ottinger versus Quick in this one. Johnston has a rush chance that's held. The Rangers press at 1.5 minutes, but the shots are 3-0 Dallas at 4.5 minutes, which means the Rangers are going to score first. At 6:56, Lafreniere gets his first in 14 games. He roofs this one on a rush. Panarin and Lindgren with the assists. Robertson's then denied by Zibanejad. So that was going to go in the net, but Zibanejad prevents it. And then at 9:55, Trocheck buries a rebound to make it 2-0 Rangers. Borgen and Panarin with the assists. And then at 11:24, on a breakaway, Lafreniere goes 5-hole, so he waits 14 games for a goal. And then he only waits, 5 minutes for the next one? Good on him. 4.5 minutes approximately. So that one's Lafreniere from Panarin and Trocheck. And then at 12:57, Dallas answers. It's Duchesne from Lindell. That one went in off of Vakanainen's stick. Actually, it's Lindell. Lindell. And I don't have an excuse because Florida didn't play tonight. It's Lindell. Essa Lindell. Shots are 11-6 Dallas with 5.5 minutes left. We then get a power play for the Stars, and they score on it. It's Dodonov from Bork and Harley at 16:56. Dodonov just burying a rebound there. It's 3-2 Rangers after one. Second period, early press by the Rangers. We get a power play for New York. That's killed off. Shots are 3-1 for the Rangers at 4 minutes. The Stars press at 6.5 minutes. Robertson to Harley. There's a near miss. And then Robertson coming out from behind the net. He scores to tie the game from Dodonov and Hintz at 13-14. That's the 10th of the season for Robertson. And then the Stars press with 4 minutes left looking for the lead. It's 3-3 after 2. Third period. Panarin fires one wide on a rush. The shots are 3-0 Dallas at 3 minutes. The Rangers press are kept to the outside. We have a near miss for Trocheck and close. Duchesne has a net drive that's defended. And then we get a power play for the Rangers, and Trocheck scores on it. And I see every time that we talk about trade rumors, Trocheck's name is the one that gets thrown out there by people. There's no way the Rangers are trading Trocheck. Zibanejad and Fox with the assists at 12:56. The Stars press to respond. Eventually they do. Sam Steele with a nice forecheck. He forces the turnover. Harley ends up getting the goal from Steele at 17:21 to tie the game at 4. We're going overtime. Stars control early. In fact, they draw a power play, and on their first shot on the power play, they score. At 2:17, it's Ben from Robertson and Harley. The final score 5-4 in overtime for the Dallas Stars. They go to 25-13-1 with the win. The Rangers 18-20-2 with the loss. And I felt like this game kind of encapsulates the Rangers season. Get off to a really good start, have some problems, and ultimately fall short. That feels like the storyline of this season for them thus far. So we'll see if that storyline continues to be that way, but so far, yep. All right, next up, Columbus and Pittsburgh. So Merzlikins versus Jari. Hayes has a sharp angle shot that's saved. We get a power play for Columbus, and they score on it. It's Voronkov from Marchenko and Monahan at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. It's a tic-tac-toe play, and it's also the first shot of the game for Columbus on Jari. Columbus presses at 7 minutes. Provorov has a chance that's held. Shots are 4-1 Columbus at 9.5 minutes. Pens are pressuring with 7 minutes left. Columbus blocking the path to the net pretty well at that stage. We get a press by Pittsburgh with 1.5 left, and with 52 seconds left, the Pens get a power play. So after the first period, it's 1-0 Columbus. The power play rolls over into the second period, and Pittsburgh scores on it. At 51 seconds, it's Bunting. His 4th power play goal of the season as well. Crosby and Carlson with the assists, so now you have a 1-1 tie. Columbus presses at 3 minutes. The shots are 4-3 Columbus at 5.5 minutes. The Penguins with some pressure 7.5 minutes into the period. Letang has a one-timer. That's held. Columbus presses are kept to the outside. There's pressure by the Penguins with 9 minutes left. Columbus gets some pressure of their own with 2 minutes left. Voronkov to LeBanc. There's a near miss there. More pressure by Columbus in the final minute, but it's 1-1 after 2. Third period. 24 seconds in. So again, first minute, Columbus got to start on time in these periods. Raquel goes bar down on a rush. Carlson and Grzelcyk with the assists. And so it's 2-1 for the Pittsburgh Penguins. Raquel continues his red-hot pace recently. Columbus looks to respond. Teams trade turnovers. Raquel nearly adds another. Penguins press at 4.5 minutes. The teams trade rushes. The shots are 5-4 for Columbus at 6 minutes. Penguins press 8 minutes in. And then at 10:09, Raquel scores from Crosby. So that's the second goal of the period. And it makes it 3-1 for Pittsburgh. Penguins then press for another. So things look good, but don't count those chickens. At 12:05, Voronkov scores from Marchenko and Fantilli, and then Columbus looks to tie it. In fact, eventually, with 3:51 left, they get themselves a power play, and they score on it. It is Fantilli tipping one from the inner slot. Kent Johnson and Werenski with the assists at 17:24. It ties the game at 3. We're going to overtime because that's kind of the rule in this part of this board. Columbus controls early. Pens take over. They set up. Crosby's denied by Elvis's glove. Rust goes around Elvis and nearly puts it in the net, but does not. He runs out of room. And we go to the shootout. In the shootout, it is Marchenko with the winner. Columbus steals one in Pittsburgh, 4-3 in the shootout. They go to 18-17-6. Right now, Columbus is above the playoff line. The Penguins 17-17-8 with the shootout loss. Shots on net, 7-3 Columbus in the first, 11-10 Pittsburgh in the second, 11-7 Columbus in the third, 2-1 Pittsburgh in the overtime. Final shots, 29-23 for Columbus. Power plays, both teams were perfect. Columbus 2 for 2, Pittsburgh 1 for 1. The hits, 16-10 Pittsburgh. Merzlikins saves 20 out of 23, and Jari 26 saves on 29 shots. All right, let's go ahead and go to board number 2. All right, Toronto and Philly. So Wall versus Kolosov. It's Fedotov. I don't know why I wrote Kolosov. Yeah, I don't know why I wrote Kolosov. I should go ahead and pause and change that because that's going to drive me nuts. All right, fixed. So Wall versus Fedotov in this one. Teams trade turnovers. Michkov has a rush chance. That's held. The Flyers press at 3 minutes. We had a fight between Dewar and Farabee. I didn't have that one on my list of things I thought would happen in that game. Hathaway has a 2-on-1 chance. That saved. The teams trade rushes. Things are pushy on a hold by Wall. And then at 8:19, Konechny opens to scoring for Philadelphia. He scores from Couturier and York. The Flyers press for another. We get a power play for Toronto. That's killed off. No shots on net, as evidenced by the fact that Philly leads the shots 5-0 with 7 minutes left. So Toronto had a very slow start in this one. Ristolainen with a wraparound chance. That's held. We get some pushing. Tippett has a rush chance. That's saved with 3:38 left. The Leafs with a power play. There was a shorthanded breakaway for Hathaway. Near miss there. That power play is killed off. It's 1-0 Philly after 1. Second period, the Leafs get an early power play, and they score on it. At 1:19, Tavares gets his 20th goal of the season on the power play. Matthews and Marner with the assists. Shots are 2-0 Toronto at 3.5 minutes. Hyman to Pacioretty, near miss there. Power play for Chicago. Michkov's denied, and we get some 4-on-4. During the brief 4-on-4, Philadelphia scores 1 second before it would have become a penalty kill situation. So Konechny scores from Cates at 7:14. So then it becomes a power play for Toronto. And just after that ends, at 7:55, Matthews answers to tie the game again. Marner and Tavares with the assists. So both of them with 2 points in the game. And it's a 2-2 tie at that point. Shots are 4 apiece with 9 minutes left. We get a power play for Philadelphia. That's killed off. Konechny has a rush chance. That's held. The Flyers press with 2 minutes left, but it stays 2-2 after 2. Third period, Lawton collides with Michkov, and it was ugly because his two teammates, they didn't expect to collide. They actually banged their heads together. Michkov did exit on that play. Shots are 3-0 Toronto at 3.5 minutes. The Flyers press at 7 minutes. The Leafs then have some pressure of their own at 9.5. More pressure by the Leafs with 8 minutes left. And then on a face-off win, Nyes tips one in. Riley and Myers with the assists at 13:21. So offensive zone face-offs are important, as Toronto makes evident in getting the 3-2 lead. The Flyers look to respond. We get a power play for the Flyers. That's killed off. We end up with a 6-on-4 for the Flyers with 47 seconds left as they get another power play. But then with 11.4 seconds left, the Flyers take a penalty to pull themselves off of said power play, cause the face-off to go back to their own zone, and so Toronto wins this one 3-2 in regulation. So there you go, regulation win. Toronto goes to 27-13-2. They're really solidifying their spot at the top of the division. The Flyers 17-19-5. They continue to fade. Shots on net 10-2 Philly in the first, 9-7 Philly in the second, 13-8 for the Flyers in the third. Final shots are actually 32-17 for the Flyers. Power plays Toronto 1-for-4, Philadelphia 0-for-4. The hits 31-15 for Toronto. Wall saves 30 out of 32. Fedotov 14 saves on 17 shots. We talked about the goaltending in Philadelphia already today, so I don't think I'm going to touch the goaltending in Philadelphia right now. All right, St. Louis and Minnesota, the most bonkers of games. Brock Faber got hurt in the first period of this one, did not return. So we'll see what his status is probably tomorrow or maybe Thursday. We'll see. But Binnington versus Gustafsson, early press by the Blues, but at 1:23, Bogosian fires one past the screen. Middleton and Hartman with the assists. Jake Middleton, very productive in his return to the lineup tonight. Wild press for another, and they get it. At 2:12, Merrill gets his first of the season. Brodin with the assist, and that was only the third shot on net for Minnesota and already the second goal. It's a 2-0 lead. The Wild nearly add another. The shots are 3-2 Wild at 4.5 minutes. Minnesota presses at 7 minutes. Blues get some pressure of their own halfway through the period, and then at 13:26, St. Louis gets on the board. Buchnevich from Holloway and Falk. Middleton's denied on a breakaway, so yeah, he wanted one. Blues press with 3 minutes left. The Wild get some pressure of their own in the final minute, and Minnesota's up 2-1 after 1. Second period, early press by the Wild, but we get a power play for the Blues. And Kyrou puts one past the screen. Falk and Holloway with the assists at 1:24, so it's a 2-2 tie. Wild look to respond, but at 2:51, Neighbors scores from Sundqvist and Bolduc. And then at 4:33, they get another. So 3 goals in about 3 minutes here. Thomas roofs one from in close. Suter and Saad with the assists. So A lot of different players combining in these 4 goals to make it 4-2 for Minnesota. So that one was roofed from in close. Shots are only 4 apiece at 6.5 minutes. So 3 of those 4 shots have gone in, and thusly Marc-Andre Fleury comes into the net. Blues press at 8 minutes, but at 9:41 on a rush, Eriksson Ek buries one, Hartman and Johansson with the assists. So that makes it 4-3. A net feed to Zuccarello, near miss there. The Wild press with 2 minutes left. It stays 4-3 St. Louis after 2. Third period. At 1:16, Middleton. So he gets that goal. He scores from Zuccarello. Wild then look for the lead now that it's 4-4. And they get it at 3:57 as Boldy scoring from, who else? Matt Zuccarello. The Blues press at 5 minutes. Things get pushy on a hold by Fleury, who looked very good in relief. Holloway's robbed. Fleury holds again. Shots are 10-3 for St. Louis with 6.5 minutes left. The goalie pull happens with 3:10 left, and this is where the icing starts for Minnesota. With 2:31 left, 1:54 left, and 56 seconds left. And it was the same 5 members of the Wild who were stuck on the ice for all 3 of those icings. Eventually, though, they get the puck out. At 19:24, Johansson hits the empty net to take the tension out of this game, make it an 80s game as well as it's a 10-goal game. Your final score is 6-4 for Minnesota. They go to 26-11-4 with the win. St. Louis 19-19-4 with the loss. Shots on net, 14-9 St. Louis in the first, 11-6 Minnesota in the second, 13-6 St. Louis in the third. St. Louis outshoots Minnesota 33-26. Power plays, St. Louis had the only power play of the game, and they scored on it. The hits 31-29 St. Louis. Binnington saves 20 out of 25. Gustafsson 14 saves on 18 shots. And Fleury's perfect in relief with 15 saves on 15 shots. All right, next up, Nashville and Winnipeg. So it's Saros versus Hellebuck. The early jumps for Nashville. In fact, the shots are 4-0 for Nashville 2 minutes in. More pressure by Nashville at 3.5 minutes. Nyquist has a rush chance. That's held. And then it's listed as an own goal. Barron, it's a loose puck that trickles in. So I guess the last stick to hit it was a Nashville stick. That's at 6 minutes and 30 seconds. It's credited to Morgan Barron. And then Morrissey on what was the 5th shot for Winnipeg at 6:46. He scores from DeMello and Lowry. Morrissey didn't finish this game either. At least I heard them talking about Morrissey. I didn't see what happened. There was just so much hockey going on. I apologize. I missed it. It's just the stuff I missed. It's the thing when people are like, why isn't this on the board? If it's not on the board, I didn't see it. I don't not write things that happened. That would be stupid. That wouldn't make any sense at all. So Nashville presses are kept to the outside, now down 2-0. The teams trade turnovers. We get a power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Jets press with 3.5 minutes left. At 18:36, Connor risks one from the slot to make it 3-0. Scheifele and Heinola with the assists. For Heinola, I think that's his first assist in a while, too. When I was looking at stats the other day, I noticed Heinola had a good plus-minus over the last month, but he also didn't have a point. So it's 3-0 for Winnipeg after 1. Second period, Velarde's denied and close. The Preds get some pressure, but they're kept to the outside. The shots are 5-0 Winnipeg, only 4 minutes into the period. Preds get some pressure at 5 minutes. Barron's denied. Saros holds there. We get a power play for Nashville. That's killed off. Press by Nashville after it comes to an end with 3:42 left. Nashville gets a power play, and they score in it. Forsberg goes bar down from the right circle. Yossi and Marchessault with the assists at 16:45, so that makes it 3-1. That's your score after 2 periods. Third period, we get a power play for Nashville. Yossi has a slapper that's saved. It's killed off, and that was the only shot on net for Nashville during said power play. Shots are 3-2 for Nashville at 6.5 minutes. We then get a power play for the Jets, and they score on it. At 7:51, Velarde. It's a face-off win. It's tipped in. It took seconds. Ehlers and Scheifele with the assists. That's Winnipeg's only power play of the game. It's really all they needed. Things then get pushy on a hold by Hellebuck, and at 9:25, Yossi scores. It was a weird-looking goal until you look at the replay. It went in off Stanley's skate. So Yossi scores this one from Hinostroza and Nyquist. I believe that's Hinostroza's first point this season. So there you go. We get a 4-minute power play for Nashville. That becomes 1 minute and 26 seconds of 5-on-3, meaning that's at the end of the 4-minute power play. Preds call a timeout, but Hellebuck kills it off. I think there was like 7 shots combined. And so, yeah, Hellebuck kills it. I would put the Jets killed it, but that would be incorrect. It was Connor Hellebuck that went, yeah, I'm not giving him a goal. So there's a press by Nashville at 3.5 minutes left. They would pull the goaltender with 3 minutes left, and at 17:55, it's an empty netter for Niederreiter. He scores from Lowry, makes your final score 5-2. Winnipeg goes to 28-12-2 with the win. With the loss, Nashville 13-21-7. Shots on net, 11-10 Winnipeg in the first, 10-6 Winnipeg in the second, 12-9 Nashville in the third. Final shots 30-28 for Winnipeg. Power plays, Nashville 1 for 7. Winnipeg scored on the only power play they had. Hits 17-17 in that area. Sorrow saves 25 out of 29. So again, when there's an own goal, they do not count that against the saves made by the goaltender. Hellebuck saves 26 out of 28. He was fantastic tonight. Really was. All right, next up. Calgary and Anaheim. So it's Wolf versus Gibson, and the shots are 5-0 Calgary a minute and a half in. So it's a good thing Gibson was awake because the rest of the Ducks weren't. So then there's a power play for the Flames. That's killed off. 2 shots on net. Ducks still don't have a shot at this point. Then we have a post for Kadri on a net drive. The Ducks finally wake up. They get some pressure at 7 minutes, and the shots are 9-4 Calgary at the half. So finally the Ducks are getting on the board a little bit here. We get a power play for Anaheim. Leeson has a wrister. That's helped. Power play's killed off. The Flames press with 3.5 minutes left. Leo Carlson's denied on a rush, and then Uyghur goes in off of his leg. They'll count. Uyghur gets this one from Coleman and Hanley at 19:04. It's 1-0 Calgary. Second period. Ducks press at a minute and a half. We have a near miss for Coronado. The shots on net are only 1 apiece at 4 minutes, and then scary incident. And this is the mother's trip for the Calgary Flames. So Connor Zeri's mother's in the crowd and sees him down on the ice, grabbing at his leg. It was a horrible looking knee on knee he took from Hellison. Knee on knees are, there's the predatory ones, and then there's the ones too where a defenseman's just out of position and he's trying to stop the other player, and yeah, it's ugly. Hellison gets 5 minutes on the play. No argument with that at all. He's out of the game, but Zeri left and did not return. So I felt bad for his mother that she's watching this, and I also kind of felt bad for her too that they're pointing cameras at his mother while she's watching her son down on the ice in, a lot of pain. Hopefully Zeri's not out for very long, but knee on knees like that, they can be brutal. There's a reason why hockey fans get mad about those plays. So it starts as 2 minutes of 4-on-4, and then it's a 3-minute power play for Calgary, which turns out to be key because just as that 4-on-4 is coming to an end, Killorn scores from Lundestrom and Lacombe at 8:34. So then it becomes a Calgary power play right after. We have a crossbar for Sharangovich, and the Ducks do kill off the 3 minutes. I don't think Calgary had an official shot on net during that 3 minutes. And then at 12:44, not long after, Kadri, on a face-off win, he tips it in. Uyghur and Hanley with the assists. So Calgary does get a goal to get the lead back at 2-1. Shots are 8-2 for Calgary with 4.5 minutes left. The teams trade rushes. The Ducks get some pressure in the final minute. It's 2-1 Calgary after 2. Third period, Leo Carlson's denied on a breakaway. So Carlson had some looks tonight. Flames press at 3 minutes. Anderson has a wrister that's held. Shots are 3-2 Calgary at 6 minutes. The Ducks draw themselves a power play, and they score on it. McTavish tips a point shot. Gauthier and Minchikov with the assists at 7:36, so that ties the game at 2. Lacombe prevents a Coleman goal and does it without taking a penalty as well. Then there's a near miss for Sharangovich. The Flames, nope. I got ahead of myself. So Lacombe prevents a Coleman goal. The shots are 11-7 for the Ducks with 4 minutes left. The Flames press with 3 minutes left, but this was obviously going to overtime. The Ducks were really playing for the point. I felt like so was Calgary. So we go to the overtime. The Flames control early. Lacombe has a breakaway chance that's defended. Then we have a near miss for Sharangovich. The Flames get a power play. They call a timeout before said power play, and they score on it. It is Huberdeau at 2 minutes and 5 seconds getting the winner to make a final score 3-2 for Calgary. They get the win to go to 19-14-7. With the overtime loss, Anaheim 17-18-5. They just miss out on that chance to get back to 500. Shots on net, 12-11 Calgary in the first, 9-5 Calgary in the second, 11-8 Anaheim in the third, and all 4 shots in the overtime were for Calgary. Final shots, 33-27 Calgary. Power plays, 1 for 3 for the Flames, 1 for 2 for Anaheim. Hits 24-12 in favor of the Ducks. Wolf saves 26 out of 28. He was very good. So was Gibson, 30 saves on 33 shots. This was a good goaltending duel, and I feel like we had some good goaltending duels tonight. All right, last game of the night, Vegas and San Jose. So, San Jose's getting closer, right? That's the important thing. We're getting closer. So, Samsonov versus Georgiev in this one. Vegas presses at 2 minutes. Howden's denied on a rebound. The shots are 3-2 for the Sharks at 4 minutes. At 8:39, Vegas would score. Stone on a breakaway. Don't let him have a breakaway. Stone scores from Theodore and Carlson. Vegas presses for another, and they get it. At 10:08, White Cloud buries one on a net drive. Howden and Kolasar with the assists, and that might be a bit of a leaky goal there for Georgiev. It's not the first he's had this season, of course. Schwint can't bury one in close. The shots are 12-10 for Vegas with 4.5 minutes left. I thought the shots were a little deceptive. I thought they should have been more lopsided in favor of Vegas. I was kind of surprised by that. But Vegas presses with 3.5 minutes left. Cunnin has a screenshot. That's held. It's 2-0 Vegas after one. Second period. Eichel has a turnover chance that's saved. Hannafin has a one-timer that's held. The Sharks press at 4.5 minutes. The shots are 4-2 Vegas at 5 minutes. Vegas presses at 6.5 minutes, but we get a power play for the Sharks, and they score on it. It is Eklund roofing one from the slot, Graf, and Wenberg with the assists at 9:49. Eichel then has a net drive chance that's saved. Vegas presses with 4 minutes left. Carlson fires one high late in that final minute, and then with 2.1 seconds left, Vegas gets a power play, and they pull the goalie because you can't score towards the other end of the ice in 2.1 seconds. And Olofsson nearly gets a goal before that horn, too. So they had a really good play off the faceoff, but it's 2-1 for Vegas after two. Third period, at 1:06 during that same power play, Vegas scores. It's Olofsson going short side on a nice pass. Eichel and Theodore with the assists. That makes it 3-1 for Vegas. Vegas presses at 4 minutes. Samsonov with a bit of an oops behind the net. The puck kind of bounces on him, but he recovers and makes the save. Power play for the Sharks. There was a post for Liljegren, and then he scores his first in, I think they said 16 games. He goes bar down. Eklund and Zetterlund with the assists at 10:41. So the Swedes combine to make the score 3-2 in favor of Vegas. Teams trade rushes. Vegas presses with 5 minutes left. There's a near miss for Granlund. The goalie pull happens with 2:39 left. And Vegas hits the empty net. It's hurdled from Stone at 18:40. Vegas wins because it's in San Jose, so of course they did. 28-9-3 is the record now for Vegas. They just continue to roll. They've won 17 of their last 21. San Jose 13-24-6. Their short winning streak at home is over. Shots on net 13-12 Vegas in the first, 18-4 Vegas in the second, and 11-6 Vegas in the third. The final shots 42-22 for Vegas. It pretty accurately tells you how this game went. Power plays, both teams were perfect. Vegas 1 for 1, San Jose 2 for 2. The hits 26-25 San Jose. Samsonov 20 saves on 22 shots. Georgiev actually had a pretty good night, all things considered. 38 saves on 41 shots. The White Cloud one you might need to save there, but overall pretty good night for Georgiev. So let me know your thoughts regarding tonight's games in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. Thank you guys so much for all your support. It's greatly appreciated. I will talk to you again soon.